golf fans, welcome back to another Tap In Fantasy video. My name is Kyle and I'm the founder of Tap In Fantasy. Our goal is to bring the entire fantasy golf landscape to one place. We plan to have traditional fantasy, drafts, one and done, tiers, salary-based games, all of it, all on our platform. Now, before we get into anything, please make sure you like and subscribe to this video. Links to all of our socials are in the bio. And make sure you check out our website and sign up for our newsletter and beta sign up. We are getting really, really close to having some great stuff rolled out. So I want to make sure you guys are on top of that. Now, this week, we are heading across the pond to Scotland for the Scottish Open. We have an incredibly deep field. Don't want to ramble on too much. Let's just jump right into golf. All right, once again, we are over in Scotland for the Scottish Open this week at the Renaissance Club. Just a heads up, the next couple of weeks, weather is going to play a major factor. It almost always does over in Europe, and it's going to be extremely volatile. I'm not just talking day-by-day changes. We're talking hour-by-hour, minute-by-minute. There might be guys on some holes that are playing in 30-mile-an-hour gusts, and then other guys are playing in like 10 or 15. It is just going to be extremely, extremely volatile, which finally does present itself that we might actually have a weather wave. For starters, just looking at it day by day, let's look at Thursday by itself. Across the board, everything looks pretty standard. We're talking, the temperature is going to be extremely, extremely cold compared to what we've had over in the States where it's been up in the 90s. We're talking all week, the peak is going to be like just under 70 degrees. But for Thursday, we are talking the morning wave is going to be pretty similar to the afternoon wave. If anything, the afternoon wave is going to be getting a little bit of rain for what is projected right now. But again, that could change at any point, even come Thursday, that could change. With that said, I'm not really seeing much of an advantage for Thursday. The only thing that might play a factor is if this does hold, then the afternoon wave guys might have a little bit softer conditions. The ball's probably not going to roll out as far. Again, this is links golf. Once you hit the ball, you really don't know what's going to happen. The ball could roll a mile. In some cases, literally like 100 yards. It could hit off of the side of a hill and ricochet off and be way into the deep rough. You really never know. And it especially is going to come into effect around the green. So you really don't know what to expect. And if you have some softer conditions, maybe that rollout isn't going to be as far. The bounces might be a little bit more forgiving. So I think Thursday afternoon, if this holds, might have a slight advantage. So keep that in mind. Thursday p.m. Looking at Friday, this is where things are going to have a serious effect. If you see right here, from about 7 a.m. to around 12, they're going to be playing with absolutely no wind at all, no rain, no nothing. I think these guys are going to be pin seeking, easily going to be able to fire off solid rounds in the Friday a.m. So, given they went off probably Thursday p.m., I'm really, really seeing some sort of a p.m. a.m. wave stack advantage this week that you really can take advantage of. Right now, we do not have the groupings and the pairings, so once those come out, just be sure to check up on the Twitter when I'll drop like a thread, kind of looking at some of the groupings that are in favorable conditions, as long as this holds, obviously. And then come the afternoon, they're going to be playing a little bit more wind. Granted, still fine conditions. I still think they'll be able to score. We're not seeing like Wednesday where it's close to 30-mile-an-hour gusts, but still, when you're talking under 10 miles an hour for almost the majority of their days for the AM group on Friday, compared to mid to high teens winds for the PM group on Friday, I really think there's a strong advantage. Obviously, we don't know what's going to happen come the weekend, if they're going to be starting off early, late, any of that. But pretty much what's happening Friday is happening Saturday and Sunday. Sunday, it's going to be glorified a little bit. With easy conditions in the morning and then really strong winds come the afternoon. I think pretty much every day we could see some early tee times fire off some low scores. So I'm thinking the weekend we're going to see some crazy leaderboard changes come Sunday, and I would not be surprised if somebody on Sunday that's maybe like 5 or 6 back can charge up and really contend to win this one if they're getting a majority of their round in before these winds kick in. So that's it for weather. Just to recap, I'm really starting to see a Thursday p.m., Friday a.m. Weather stack. When those pairings come out, I'll definitely drop something, so be on the lookout. Going forward, we're going to be looking at ownership. We're going to be looking at course fit modeling, maybe some of my favorite picks, some favorite bets. So let's jump right in. All right, we're going to start off with a custom course fit model. We are at the Renaissance Club. It is a par 70, a little over 7,200 yards. Oddly enough, there are 5 par 3s. It's kind of abnormal for most golf courses, and 3 par 5s with 10 par 4s. The first thing we're really going to want to look at is the fact that this is a very strong field, but we also have we have some dead weight towards the bottom. There's going to be a lot of Euro guys that aren't the best. Some of them are very good. I don't want to say they're bad, so to speak. It's just they're not up to the caliber of the PGA guys, which I think is why it's important we really look at weighted strokes gained this week. The Renaissance Club, you need to have distance. You're going to have to be able to hit your long irons very well, and around the green and putting are always going to be important on a links style course. So breaking down the model, we put 10 on weighted strokes gained approach, 10 on weighted strokes gained around the green, and 15 on weighted strokes gained putting. Again, these two are going to play major factors this week. If you're not getting it close, because you're going to have to scramble. If you're not getting it close around the green and making your putts, you're not going to be able to hold up. I put 5 on a bogey avoidance because I do really think this could end up playing hard if the winds pick up, especially on Sunday. I think for some of the guys that are actually playing very well, that are going to be playing a little bit stronger winds, given pretty much Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the strong winds are coming for those later groupings. I think bogey avoidance is going to be important. Just pick up your pars, pick up birdie where you can, string together enough good holes, and I think you have a chance of contending. So I put 5 on bogey avoidance. Again, driving distance, it is, I think, if you look at all the different courses that are played on tour, it is like 10th among 57 qualifying courses. So driving distance is going to play a major factor. I think this is one of the lowest fairway percentage courses that we see on tour, just because with links, once you hit the ball, like it could roll out 40 yards into the rough. You could hit a dead center of the fairway and it's just going to keep rolling into the rough. So you really never know. And so I'd rather be close to the pin and maybe in the rough than pretty far back and still probably in the rough, because it's going to roll out that way. So driving distance for 20. Approach, again, you're going to have a lot of long irons into the screen, which is why I put 8 and 8 on 175 to 225. Again, around the green, I think you're going to have to scramble. It's not as important, and I think kind of factoring it in with weighted strokes gain around the green kind of does take an effect scrambling, so I went ahead and put that. Again, it's very abnormal that you see this many par 3s, so I put 6 on par 3s, strokes gained par 3s. I think it's important you're able to pick up strokes there. And then the last bit, course history, I'm always a big buff. 8 on strokes gained at the Renaissance Club. So what does that spit out for us? No surprise at all. We have Rory and Scotty 1 and 2. I'm actually kind of surprised Rory is over Scotty, and there's probably a reason for that. I think it comes right here. Scotty's driving distance isn't the best. He doesn't hit it that far compared to the field, where 20% of our model is being factored in, and then just par 3s, his isn't that. He's not the greatest in par 3s, but it's Rory. He'll be fine. He's also not the best at links style courses. Scotty has come out and said that he does not like unpredictability, which links style courses do kind of project for. So much no surprise we have Rory and Scotty at the top. Just a quick overview of some guys that are modeling incredibly well. Course fit modeling, again, Matthew Fitzpatrick at 8,800 up in third is pretty strong. Same with Sam Burns. I think the biggest outlier is going to be Thorbjorn Olesen. We'll talk about him in a little bit. Don't fall for the Justin. He's always going to model well at link style courses, and he sucks on them. Don't fall for this. JJ Spahn's looking really good for 8,100. I feel like that price tag is like criminal. We'll talk about him a little bit more later. First 6K guy is going to be Gary Woodland. Makes a lot of sense. He doesn't pick up many bogeys. He hits it far. He's a fairly decent putter. Is he good around the greens? No. And he hits his long irons well, so no surprise there at all. And then just going down the list. Again, Keith Mitchell, I think he's still riding the high from... We are looking at last 36 rounds. He's looking at the back half of those 36. Sanders kind of falling down a little bit, but that's 10th is still fine. Matt Wallace is strong showing. EVR strong. Chris Gotterup's playing some great golf right now. And yeah, Eris English, Max Grazerman, they're both really, really strong course fits. Same with Bobby Mack. I mean, he won here last year in spectacular fashion. Harry Hall, no surprise. Sammy Valimaki, we'll talk about him a lot. He's higher up in the course fit. And then some of the guys that really aren't that high up, just kind of projecting. Like Vic at 93 isn't as high as I really wanted. Tommy at 99 is shocking. I'm really going to have to deep dive into him because I am always a big Tommy fan, even though if he's a massive choke artist. Ryan Fox isn't really all that high up there, which is shocking, given he has 2 wins in his last, I think it's 6. Corey Connors isn't looking too hot, but I think he's nursing an injury. I don't think I'm going to get there at all. Won't talk much about him. And then everything else kind of falls in line fairly well. Aaron Rye isn't as high as I would have expected. Yeah, no, that's pretty much it. Ooh, 94. Ludwig not modeling too hot. He's probably going to come in way lower owned than this 19% indicates. I will have none of him if he's going to be almost 19%. Colin does not model well at all, and it's probably onto the putting because he sucks at putting. Yep. Outside the top 100, picks up bogeys, doesn't hit it far. He's not probably not going to get that much Colin this week. Plus, he's a snowflake, new guy on the bag. You never know. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the course fit. So what we're going to do now is we're going to sort by salary and really take a macro approach to this, dive into ownership, see who's got really good ownership projections compared to the guys around them where they also model well to get a good ownership advantage on the field. So starting with the 10K range, Scotty and Rory, I don't need to talk much about them. If you go with any of them, either of them, like, you're in fine shape. I would prefer Rory for the $1,700 in savings. He models a little bit better. I think he likes links golf a lot more, and I mean we're back in home country for him. We're across the pond. I think he's really going to show up to get himself dialed in for the Open next week. But that's not to take away from Scotty. He's the best player on the planet. I mean, he could show up and absolutely sun run this place if the wind isn't picking up too much. I think a big X factor is going to be Xander Schauffele. The numbers that are kind of holding him back, he picks up bogeys and he doesn't play par threes all that well, and he doesn't scramble that well, but everything else looks fairly solid. I don't want to look at this 70th in putting, given last year, like, he was an incredible putter. This has got to come back around eventually. Everything else is fine, though. I mean, he's great at the Renaissance Club. I kind of want to look at that directly. Why is he first? I'd imagine it's one of those, he has like one trip here, and it was like incredibly good. Oh, no, numerous. 2022, he won T10 when it was a Eurotour event in 21, T15 last year. I mean, it's pretty solid. Pretty solid. For just, what was this ownership? Just 16% compared to Rory's 25. I think that's going to go up, and Scotty way up close to 40. I don't think you can go wrong at all. He's definitely an X factor up in the 10K range that I think will come in a little bit lower round. The 9K range, a little bit deeper than it usually is. Usually it's like 4 or 5 guys, and now we've got, 7? I'm always going to like Tommy. I know he doesn't model as well, and I think it comes on the the backbone of this driving distance. Everything else is great. He's great around the green. He's a fine putter, fine. Really good history around the Renaissance Club. And, I mean, he hits his long irons fairly well. I mean, that's all we're asking for. He's just a grinder. He's going to go out there, put up a good score every day, and hopefully that's enough to finally get him over the hump. I really think there's going to be an asterisk if he were to win this, because we are looking for him to win his first true PGA event. This is kind of a Euro PGA combo event, and it's not on mainland USA. I'll still give him the credit if he ends up pulling this one out. Again, I'm not going to Colin or Ludwig. The numbers just don't line up. They're not playing the best golf right now. I'd rather go to others. Starting with Vic, I love what he's doing with his irons right now. Again, second in this field in approach. He's great on par threes. He might not hit it the farthest. He might pick up some bogeys. But, again, these long irons, third and third in this bucket, I think this is set up very well for him, even if he doesn't have good history around here. Justin Thomas, I do want to talk about. I know his ownership is incredibly low. And I know he models incredibly well for this style of golf course. He just has never been a good links golfer. He can't figure it out. I don't know what it is. Maybe he just doesn't see the hole well, because there's really not much around you. And it's probably another putting thing. I mean, he's very streaky with the putter, and on these greens that are really tough to figure out, it just doesn't fit his eye. But the numbers do suggest like he is an overall good putter. He is overall good around the greens. His irons are going to be fine. He's good on par threes. Does he hit it the farthest compared to others in this field? No, but he'll be just fine. And again, his long irons are solid. So I'm really iffy. It feels like fool's gold because I'm pretty sure every single time we come here or for the Open, he models incredibly well. He looks like a great play. He comes in over-owned, and then he falls flat on his face. So just keep that in mind. Bobby Mack, the reigning champ here. At 24%, that's my issue. Like, if he was in the 16s, I'd be a little bit more partial to going there. Is he playing the best golf right now? It's like he's playing pretty solid. Let's just kind of deep dive this one. Again, second at the U.S. Open is fantastic. Those tough conditions. I take that back. He's playing great golf. Like, absolutely spectacular. T17 of the Travelers, where he lost almost over 2 strokes on approach. That's incredible. Again, second at the U.S. Open, was almost there if J.J. Spawn didn't just dunk it from a mile out to take the win. He played fine at the Canadian Open, almost was positive across the bag. I mean, his biggest thing is he's always going to be positive and strongly positive in like 3 out of 4 categories. It's just a matter of which one is he going to kind of hold him back, and when one of them or none of them hold him back, he has strong finishes, just like we did at the U.S. Open. I think he's got the stones. He's the defending champion here. I see no reason why he can't do it again. This ownership is just extremely concerning. Now, Sam Burns, this is one that I really want to look at. He models incredibly well. He is not one of the higher-owned guys in this range. People are going to be going to Bobby Mack or Matt Fitzpatrick below him, or if not, going to be going up, I guess, to Ludwig and Tommy and Victor. So he kind of, I think this will come down. I think it'll settle in like the 12 to 13 range. But just looking at his numbers, he's a great putter. I think it's going to be incredibly important that you putt well here. I really don't know how or what his putting numbers look like on a link style course, but he doesn't have the best history. That's what's concerning. Everything else really does line up for him to succeed this week. I don't really. Again, similar to JT, this feels like fool's gold. If his approach game kind of regresses back to what it was a couple of weeks ago, where he'd lost like in 10 straight, there's a strong chance he misses the cut. Like, it could get bad for him. And that's pretty much my stance. I like the ownership. I like the model fit, but it seems like fool's gold, very similar to JT. On to the AK range. Connors with the injury, I'm not going to get there. Matt Fitzpatrick. Oh, boy. Similar to Bobby Mack. I want to play him. He's coming in incredibly good form. I just don't know if I want to if I want to go for him at 20% ownership. Now, if you're going to be dipping into the 6K range, like maybe you're playing Scotty, another 9K, and Matt Fitzpatrick, where you got to play a lot of 6K guys, and they're all going to be 1 to 3%. You know what? Go for it, because like that's not going to matter at all. All in all, though, he is, I think it's top 40 in every single stat except for driving distance, which he is 60th, and 305 is perfectly fine. Across the board, he fits this golf course. Let's just look at his history here at the Renaissance Club. Sorry if my laptop is extremely laggy. It is faltering behind. Now, his last 2 trips, T39 and miscut. That's not the best. But 2022, dating back to 2018, 14th, a 2nd, a 6th. I mean, clearly something was going wrong. I know last year his driver was a serious issue. And around the green is always going to be very iffy. Like, you don't know what your lies are going to look like. So they're just like this. In 2022, gained almost 2.5 around the greens, but then lost 3 for the miscut. I mean, it's gonna be extremely volatile. So if he can just get back to what he was doing here, I see no reason he can't contend. I really, really like him this week. Me personally, in my 2 and done, I'm probably gonna be playing him. So that's kind of my stance on Matt Fitzpatrick. Yeah, I think he's a great fit for this course. I think he's coming in great form. This is that up and up trajectory we're looking for in terms of a guy that's going to go out and steal a win. I know it's going to be tough in this field, but I really think Matt Fitzpatrick has the pedigree to do it. Moving down, not going to get to Sepp, not going to get to Scott. Ryan Fox is kind of an odd one. He's coming in great form. I mean, 2 wins in the last 6. The numbers do kind of align for him. I think a big problem is he's not the best on par threes, and he picks up some bogeys. But everything else is pretty strong. I mean, he's a great putter. He's great on approach. Um, it's just kind of an iffy stance. I think he'll do okay. Why I kind of have him starred is we're going to talk about him. I like in the prop market for him. Um, I like him a lot, but I don't know if I'm going to get there in DFS, especially at 15% owned. He's going to have to do with his irons. I just don't think the par threes, and he doesn't scramble all the well. So if he isn't sticking those approach shots, it could turn into trouble for him. Harry Hall is here at 8,400. I really want to look at his recent form. I know it's not in the strongest of fields for him, but if I remember correctly, he's got some strong fish. Again, yes, dating back to, again, what is this, mid-May, T20, T19 at the PGA Championship. That's a very strong field. Same with the Travelers, fairly strong field. The Rocket Classic, I mean, we're talking top 25s in each of the last 6 tournaments. He's gaining with the putter in a massive way. He's good around the greens, great on approach. The driver is what's been holding him back. I don't think that'll play that big of a factor this week. So really liking Harry Hall for this one. And just breaking down the true numbers. Again, he's second behind Burns in putting, great on approach, fine around the greens. Bogey avoidance is strong. He hits it far enough, and he scrambles well. Yes, the long irons aren't the best, and he has no history at the Renaissance Club, but I think he'll be just fine. Wrapping up the AK range, the bottom of the AK range is incredibly strong to me. This is probably where I'm going to be living, from Wyndham Clark down to Mav McNeely. First off, all of them are coming in at fairly low ownership except for Mav. And I think Mav, it's just the narrative that you need to putt, and he's a great putter. But just starting with Wyndham Clark, we don't really care about accuracy. We only care about distance, and he can really push the pace. He's really good around the greens, 12th in this field over the last 36. A lot of the other things are lagging behind. He's not the best on approach, not the best on par threes. Bogey avoidance isn't really there. But he does have some good history at the Renaissance Club. Let's just go ahead and check in on that, see what that course history looks like exactly. We are talking a made cut in each of them, top 25 in all the last 3. So extremely, extremely good numbers, and he's good off the tee, which is kind of what we were looking for, because we look right here. Where is this? Where was this? Never mind. I wasn't looking off the tee. I was thinking something else. But anyway, I think that the numbers definitely suggest that Wyndham Clark at 6% is a great play. Now, this is what is absolutely nuts to me. How can J.J. Spaun, who is the reigning major champion for the U.S. Open, who played his heart out and was such a grinder in tough, tough, tough conditions, is only going to be 7% owned? And he's coming off a really strong, like, he followed up that U.S. Open win with another really strong weekend performance. I think it was like T14. He's a good putter. He's fine. He's really solid on approach. Around the green might hold him back a little bit. He's middling in some of these numbers, but he's fine on par threes. Bogey avoidance, like, just fine. He drives it far enough. I mean, everything lines up really well for J.J. Spaun to have another solid week at low ownership. Like, I will be all over this. Maybe it's, and I don't even want to say it's something to do with, like, name value and where he's being priced. Like, if he was being priced like a major champion up here he should probably be up here in the 9K, high 8s with Connors and Fitzpatrick and Sam Burns, in my honest opinion. He should not be down here with, like, Mav, Harris English, Aaron Rye. Like, that seems crazy to me. So I'm going to probably be all over J.J. Spaun. Harris English, these type of golf tournaments just scream Harris English, and it has nothing to do with the English, if I'm being quite honest. He's a good putter, great on approach, solid around the greens, good on par threes, avoids bogeys. Does he hit it the farthest? No, but he scrambles well. And again, 200 to 225, you're not going to be hitting the farthest. That's what we're going to be looking at. And he's top 40 in the field. Solid history in the Renaissance Club. Big fan there. Mav McNeely, similar boat. I don't know why I started him, actually. I did not mean to. Oh, maybe it was because I wanted to talk about the ownership. I think it was, if you're going to be playing someone like Mav McNeely, I would rather play these 3 guys. I think it comes on the fact that he doesn't scramble well, doesn't hit his long irons well. Maybe it was this. I think it's good history. That's what it was. Good history around these parts. 6th in this field when it comes to Course history. Let's just double back on that. Oh, really? Because he played here once in 2022 for a T16. Probably not the strongest of fields, so I'm probably gonna be out on Matt McNeely. But oh, what am I doing? But some small things suggest that he could have a strong week if the putter's running really hot. Onto the 7K range. He models incredibly well. I don't know why Taylor Pendrith is coming in at just 5% ownership. I mean, we're sandwiched between four other guys that are all seeing double-digit ownership. Pendrith hits it incredibly far, which is what we're looking for. He's good on par threes. He's top 50 in both approach and putting. I think this is a pretty strong profile for a guy that could have a very strong showing. I mean, top 45 in both of the long iron categories. Love me some Taylor Pendrith this week. A lot of people are getting to Rasmus Højgaard. I'm not going to get there. I think the reasoning was he does not play par threes well, picks up a lot of bogeys, doesn't scramble all that well. Again, we don't really have the long iron numbers, but I'm not really getting there. Like nothing, not the best putter. He's not the best around the green. Yes, he does hit it far, which is what we're looking for, but just I'm going to get to other guys, specifically Max Grazerman and Thomas Dietrich. We'll start off with Grazerman. Models incredibly well. I actually did not want Dietrich. It's just Max Grazerman. Great putter and great around the green. I think it's going to be crucial this week, and he hits it far. Do the other numbers suggest that he's going to be good here at all? No. He does pick up bogeys. He doesn't scramble the best. Doesn't hit the long irons the best. They're still fine. He's never played at the Renaissance Club, but he's coming in pretty solid form. If I remember correctly, I think he kind of sputtered towards the end. No, that was 2 weeks ago. Yeah, T2 at Rocket Classic. Some solid finishes. I mean, inside the top 30, basically 5 for each of the last 6, with that coming off the T2 where he gained across the bag. I think he looks incredibly good this week. I think the big thing is going to be, can he play Link's style course as well, which we really haven't seen out of him. Then we're jumping down to one of the best Renaissance Club players that is in pretty horrific form, and that's going to be Tom Kim. He does hit his long irons well, so I'll give him that. Okay, the number suggests he's an average putter for this field, but he's good around the greens and not great on approach. I don't want to play him, but the course history really has me interested. Just looking at his profile, it's probably going to be incredibly ugly. Like, he is sputtering. Yeah, this isn't good. And he's not doing crap off the tee and on approach. Yeah, he's okay putting and fine around the greens, but that's not going to cut it. I'm probably not going to get to Tom Kim. So do not fall for the great course history numbers for Tom Kim. The industry is all over Rasmus Nørgaard Peterson. I'll just jump right into it. He does not model well, and I think it's the putting for me. I know he's good on par threes, and he hits it far, and he scrambles fairly well, and picks up. But I don't know if he's gonna be able to putt well. Everything else is pretty strong. Not gonna lie, I totally understand why people are going to him, but the putting is something that could very much let him down. And at 14, closing in on 15% ownership, but there are guys around him with much higher winning upside. That are, again, playing week in, week out on the PGA Tour. I'd much rather go to them at a third of the ownership. Specifically, Nicolai Højgaard and Benny On. We'll start with Højgaard. He hits it far. That's going to be crucial this week. He's an above average putter. He's pretty sound. He hits his long irons fairly well compared to this field, and he doesn't pick up many bogeys. I think that there's some recipe for success. And again, I might have already said it, pretty solid on par threes. There is something brewing with Nicolai Højgaard that he could be a very strong play this week. Now on to Benny On. He is one of those. He's team no putt. That could very much let him down. But everything else for me does suggest that he could be strong. He's good around the greens. He doesn't pick up many bogeys. He hits it far. He scrambles very well, and he does hit his long irons well. He's just never played at the Renaissance Club, which is a little bit concerning. If we can get a hot putter, which let's just look. There's got to be some spike putting weeks recently that maybe could give me some thought that he would be all right. Again, it's across the board. This is what's just letting him down. Yes, he had a poor streak from the Memorial to the Byron Nelson off the tee and on approach, but he clearly has fixed that. putting is what's just always going to let him down. So if he can be just a zero putter, or again, even gain in the putting category, there's a strong chance that he could contend this week. Everything else is definitely falls in line for him being a great play. Now, one of my favorite plays on the entire slate is going to be 7,400 Thorbjorn Olesen. 3% ownership. That right away, when you model this well, has my attention. So I really want to deep dive this one. Top 35 on approach. Round the green, 63rd. It's not a very noisy stat, so we'll just kind of push it aside. He's a very good putter, great on par threes, doesn't pick up bogeys, hits it far, scrambles well, and he hits his long irons fairly well. Recipe for success in the numbers. Love me some Thorbjorn Olesen. I just want to look at the recent form that he's coming in with. And as you can see, again, 2 missed cuts here, but we've got some decent performances kind of scattered in. Again, the putting is what's going to be there for him. He's a Euro, and I think he's got okay history here. Might be a mistake. Yeah, pretty solid history, if you ask me. In the last 3 years, 39th, 25th, 30th. I'm all for it. Again, he loves putting on these surfaces. It's just going to come down to, can he be a break even on approach? I think that's what's all going to matter. And again, he's 7,400. Does he need to put up a top 10 performance? No. But does he need to? Does he need to beat the guys around him? Yes. And I definitely think he can. Keith Mitchell, I have starred just because I wanted to break it down. I did not think he would model this well. But just looking at the numbers, driving is always going to be a plus for him. He hits it a mile. He's putting fairly well, and he's good on approach. I think around the green, that bogey avoidance, the scrambling might hurt him a little bit, and he's decent with these long irons. He also has some pretty decent Renaissance Club history. Let's just look at that real quick. Maybe he's only played here. That's gross. If we could put this putting performance with these two, I guarantee he's probably in the top 10. That's incredible that you can gain that much on approach and off the tee to green, and miss the cut each of the last 2 years. That's incredible. If he can figure out putting on these greens, I mean, he could easily contend. Why do I keep backing that? I just need to keep closing it. That's a little sketchy. What was the ownership? 1%. Yeah, I'll have some Keith Mitchell. That's perfectly fine. Now, pretty much everyone here down, I'm going to be looking at exclusively these Euro guys. I'm going to talk about guys that aren't starred, but the industry has some buzz on. I might not be on them, but that doesn't mean you can't be. So, we're going to start off. Matthew Wallace models incredibly well. He's great around the greens. He's a prolific links golf player. He scrambles well, hits it far enough. Putter's fine. And again, good history here. I know it's in red, but those are fine long iron numbers, so I'm all for it. So, love me some Matt Wallace. I want to like Justin Rose, but I think he's coming in just horrific form. Does not hit it far, doesn't scramble well. The rest of the numbers are pretty good. Actually, I want to look at Justin Rose. Because, again, anytime we're going to come over to across the pond, we really got to look at some of these. The Englishmen, yeah, terrible form. WD, cut. Yeah, no Justin Rose for me. Again, keep doing it. Stop it. Manacero is getting a lot of love for his around the green game. He doesn't pick up many bogeys and he scrambles well. I think he's got the finesse around here to maybe do it. I just don't think I'm going to get there because he does not hit it far at all. At all. He also has a zero history here. Norgard Muller is getting a lot of love. Same with Jordan Smith. I just don't think they model well. Kind of a tale of differing players here. Where Muller mashes it, Jordan doesn't. Muller picks up a lot of bogeys, Jordan doesn't. They don't have a lot of numbers to go off of. Jordan Smith does have pretty solid history here. I think why he doesn't, they don't course fit as well is because we don't have a lot of these par 3 long iron numbers that we should. So I'm probably not going to get there, but if you do, that's fine. Victor Perez is one of those Euro guys. I know he's kind of a hybrid. He does play on the PGA. 5% ownership. He's good on approach. He's a good putter. Doesn't pick up many bogeys. Does he hit it far? No. Does he scramble well? No. But again, the long irons are solid, and he's got good history here. I'm fine with Victor Perez at 7,200. Then we get to the bottom of the sevens. All of these guys at 7,100 including Novak. I should have started him. I'll look at him. Gotterup's coming in just scorching hot. I mean, this guy's putter has just been insane. I don't really care what that says. I'm pretty sure his putter's been great. Why does that say 84th? Am I tripping? Oh, no. Maybe I was thinking approach. There was, that was it. It wasn't putter. His approach game has really turned the corner. He's always going to be great off the tee. He's been a break-even putter the last couple of weeks. I'm all for some Chris Gotterup. Stop doing the X. Stop it. Kevin Yu, the numbers always speak volumes, but he doesn't really pick it up in the results. I think he's very similar to Gotterup, like in the T20s, 30s. Canadian Open, Myrtle Beach Classic. Take back what I just said. He's picking it up in the results. I mean, these numbers look very solid. He's not the greatest around the green, but when you're gaining that much off the tee, solid on approach, solid putter. I'm all for some Kevin Yu. I'm just gonna do that every time. I should shut up about it. Andrew Novak, one of those middling guys. He doesn't hit it the farthest. He picks up some bogeys, but again, 38th, 30th, 40th, and all the weighted strokes gained categories. He's fine on par threes. He's not the best links golfer. I think that's what deterred me. But he's good on his long iron. So maybe if he can figure something out, it might be on the greens. Who knows? Similar to JT, just doesn't play well over here. I think he could be a strong play. And then Lee Hodges. It's everything lines up. I always like to play Lee Hodges. But I really think the putting and the around a green are kind of going to hold him back. He's good on approach. Doesn't pick up many bogeys. Scrambles well. Hits it far enough. And his long irons are solid. I think that's why I started Lee Hodges. He is in a good spot. And then it kind of gets fairly bleak. Like Matthew Jordan's an elite Euro guy. Jesper Svensson, even though I'm pretty sure he has his tour card now, he is another elite Euro guy. Marco Penge is getting a lot of love around the industry. Same with Shakara. Now, Gary Woodland and EVR are two of our PGA guys that I definitely want to dive into. Starting with Woodland, again, these numbers are incredible for the last 36. I mean, he's great putter, great on par threes, doesn't pick up many bogeys, hits it far, scrambles well. I'm probably going to be all over Gary Woodland. He's probably one of my favorite plays in the 6K range. The only thing he struggles with is around the green, but again, that is not a noisy stat. So give me all the Gary Woodland you can possibly ask for. EVR, I was wanting to kind of jump into this. Why? Because some of these lower guys, I personally do not keep up with as much as I should. Yeah, a lot of it is coming from this Truist and the Byron Nelson. I don't, that 78th cut 36, really not going to cut it for me. So probably not going to get to EVR, even though the numbers do kind of say he's a good play and he's got some good Renaissance Club history. I prefer Gary Woodland, but the numbers do suggest that like he could be a great play this week. So keep an eye on EVR. Christopher Wrighton, another Euro guy. I think he's coming in just incredible form. Like, this guy is elite Euro. Yeah, again, first at the Sudal, Austrian Open, T2, T13 at the KLM. The Italian Open wasn't really the best for him, but he was just bad off the tee. And the BMW T4. I mean, the numbers are just great for Christopher Wrighton. Can he come into this large or this strong of a field and actually compete? I don't know. I don't think I'm going to get there at 8%. There's just other guys. And then we really do get into a flood of elite Euros, like Laurie Cantor, Ewan Ferguson's elite Euro, Martin Koivra. I think Koivra is a name that's getting some buzz. The one that I'm going to be going to in the high sixes, along with Woodland and possibly EVR, is going to be Sami Välimäki. I really love where his game is. He's boom or bust. Like, this man can miss the cut very easily. But just looking at his last five, I think it is 3 missed cuts, and then the other 2 are top like 10s, maybe top 20s. A T7 at Myrtle Beach, and then a T19 at the Rocket Classic. That is the epitome of boom or bust. But the numbers suggest what we were looking for this week. You need to be a strong putter. He is. Good on par threes, he is. He doesn't hit it the farthest, which is kind of concerning. But everything else is just in line. He hits his long irons very well, which goes kind of in line with, if you don't hit it that far, you better have good long irons. He does. And then again, the round of green game is fine. The approach is great. So give me some Sammy Valimaki this week. I really, really think from the betting market standpoint, you'll hear me talk about him in a little bit. Strong play. Tom Hoagie's another one very similar to Valimaki. He doesn't hit it the furthest, but he's good on par threes. He's a fine putter. He's great on approach, great around the green. And again, these long iron numbers are fantastic. The thing that's kind of holding him back, they don't really have the best Renaissance Club history. But Tom Hoagie, sign me up. Love those two guys. Then it gets real bleak. Like, I'm probably not getting to much of any of these guys. Again, from a weighted strokes game perspective, like Patrick Rogers and Davis Riley are popping. But I never play those guys. And I don't, it's just, I'm not going to get down to them. Rats. Small blip. Let me reload my model and get back down to them. And that's pretty much it. Once you get to Patrick Rogers and Davis Riley. Connor Seam, elite Euro links guy. Romain Langasque, elite Euro links guy. And then that's pretty much it. Like, oh yeah, Brian Campbell's getting a lot of love. This man has got to stop winning at like 300 to 1. It's just unbelievable. Grant Forrest, I'm pretty sure he is a Scottish guy. He, I think, has a couple strong performances here. Yeah, I want to look at him. Because, like, if you want to go, like, Scotty and a big dog, you really need to go dumpster diving. He's got some okay finishes on the Euro, like T13 and T16 at 2000 KLM. What was it? I think he's got, yeah. Again, he typically makes the cut here. T39 last year and a T11, that's pretty solid, especially for this one being so poor off the tee. If you want to go dumpster diving, if you want to go all the way down and you need somebody in that 6,500 range, and you would rather not throw open your mouth and play Brian Campbell, he's not going to do it again. If he does, I'll eat my words. I'm fine with Grant Forrest. Same idea for Joe Highsmith. He's a good putter, but that's pretty much it. Like, that's all his game is putting. And that's, I think that's about it. I'm a big Joel Damon fan, but like, no, actually, let's look at this one. He's good on approach, fine around the greens. Can't putt to save his life. That's probably going to hold him back. Doesn't hit it far. That's going to hold him back. Go to his long irons. I mean, I'm probably not going to go there. Probably no need to go there, but 6,300, that's not bad. Same with Yannick Paul. Danny Willett models fairly well, but I'm pretty sure this is against terrible competition, and it might be in like barely any rounds. It actually isn't. Strong putter, good on par threes. Yeah, if you want a dumpster dive, maybe you can go down to Danny Willett, but that's literally it. So that is pretty much it for course fit modeling. My favorite plays. We're going to look at a couple bets, and I'm just going to kind of rattle them off. Oh, did it reload? I had them kind of lined up. I can run back through all of them. Also, they are all in my article if you want to check that out. Now it's going to load. It is just incredibly slow. I need to get my computer like refreshed. So starting off, I always start off with kind of a matchup one. Then go into like a top 20, top 30 bet. My first one is this Ryan Fox versus Daniel Berger head-to-head. Ryan Fox is coming in much better form. The numbers just really reflect that he could be strong here. And Daniel Berger, like, it's just he's kind of regressed. He had that strong run of form beginning, middle of the season, and he's really regressed back, especially with the putter. I think that could be a very big problem for him this week. And if I remember correctly, I just want to be 100% sure because I don't want to talk out my rear end and be completely wrong. I do not think he is the furthest driver of the golf ball. No, he's not. Whereas Ryan Fox, I'm pretty sure, like, cranks it. No, not cranks it. Again, he hits it far enough, and he's a pretty solid putter. I like Ryan Fox a lot more than Daniel Berger this week, and the number is, what was that, minus 115? Yeah, minus 115. Like, I like that a lot. My placement bet is going to be Matt Fitzpatrick, top 20 at plus 190. Like, he has two top 20s in each of his last two. He's coming in great form. All the numbers suggest that he is an incredible play this week, and he can seriously contend. He has history around over in Europe. I really think plus 190 is just incredibly steep for him. Again, earlier in the video we talked a lot about Matt Fitzpatrick, so that's my my placement bet for a top 20. Now getting into outrights, this was kind of a spattering, so to speak. Again, I talked about Harry Howell. I think 65-1 is very strong. We just talked about Matt Fitzpatrick. I think 45-1. He really could win this tournament. Vic, it is purely going to come down to if he can be a zero around the greens, but I think the rest of his game does translate well. Maybe more of a DFS play, but 40-1 kind of piqued my interest. Like, we'll just go over here to tournament lines. Like, there was some that I was like, why is he down here? Like, I do not think Corey Connors and Sam Burns should be ahead of Vic. I think he's kind of in a really good spot where he could probably be this 30-1, and I would not be shocked at all. So I think 40-1 is a good number on him. And then if we're going super deep, like I've already said, Sammy Valimaki, 200-1, sign me up. Who freaking knows? Then make the cut parlay. I think it was 10-1 on the nose. Sammy Valimaki, Victor Perez, Matt Wallace, and Connor Siem. So yeah, that is it for me this week with the Scottish Open. Again, make sure you like and subscribe to this video. Check out our website at www.tapinfantasy.com. We are still in our development phase, so we don't really have any of our games up and running. But if you sign up for our newsletter, scroll all the way down to the bottom of the main page. I think it's in the footer of all of our pages. Just type in your email, and you'll get any updates that we end up sending out in terms of when we are going live with our beta, all that fun stuff. And then I think it's really important we talk about, please go follow us on our socials. We are really trying to grow our social media presence right now. It is just me, but our team, our marketing team, we're about to be going extremely hard when it comes to social media and growing that. But again, follow us on Twitter, x.com/tapinfantasy. Like and subscribe to our YouTube. Again, join our Discord so we can really start chopping it up, really start talking all things golf. But most importantly, please check out the website, scroll all the way down to the bottom, and beta sign up a newsletter. Once we get enough signups, we're going to start cranking out the newsletter, and we're going to be dropping some information on our beta very, very soon. So that is it for me this week. Best of luck, and I will see you next time.